Hello, good morning, welcome to Bars Bells. My name is Lauren.
I'm Ian.
And this is the weekend workout.
It's the weekend.
We've had 1 cup of coffee. We play with our body weight, strength, and mobility. So all you need is this and some space. Let's get started.
We'll take it to the floor with a quick foot warm up and then right onto those wrists. So go to those balls of feet and then point those toes just like in your handstand. And if allowed, flex over the toes and then use the toes to press back to the balls of feet. And it's always those hips that push forward to return the heel to the floor. Same thing on the other side. It's a pull action to return the heel off the floor, then towards the toe tip, asking permission to gently flex over on those toes.
May I?
May I, please? And then to the balls of the feet, and it's hips forward, heel down. One more time. Ball of foot to the point, to the flex over, back to the toe tip, the balls of feet and hip extension through, and the ball of feet, the tip of the toe, the flexing over, and then push through and extend the hip. Very quickly, very slowly, and not necessarily high. Let's take a second on the toe balance and just squeeze your bum, straighten the knees, and slow things right back down to the ground. From there, we'll go knees over toes with flat feet, and then push the hips through. Then we'll go knees over toes and peel the heels up, and press the heels down, and push the hips through. And this time, get as low as you can, flat feet. The heels might lift as you get a little bit lower. And with the assistance of the hands, place the knees down, extend the hips through. And now it's time to warm up your other versions of feet, being the hands.
Your hand feet.
We'll hinge on the hips, pressing back, landing fingers, callus lines, and full hands. Screw the hands in with those blood donations facing forward. And then at the head neck, extension, meaning look forward at the camera for me or at the screen for you, and at me for Lauren. Then tuck a chin that your nose or your face is looking towards the hands on the ground. Then one more time, extension, forward, making sure you can breathe, and then tuck the chin, returning, looking at the hands. For one more time here in this position, let's pull the hands towards the knees, which might encourage you to drift the shoulders over the hands, extending on the wrist. Then push the floor forward to go back. For one more time, open the hands. Feel the tension in the floor as you pull, extending the wrist, and then push through so much that you come on up to the tall kneel position here with a little shake. We'll do a quarter turn of the hands and then also little turns at the head neck. Fingers, calluses, and hands. At the head neck first, do our ear to shoulder bend. The nose stays stable. My left ear is to the left shoulder. Then traveling through the center, I'll go right ear to the right shoulder. Through center again. Twos of everything, so this is my left to left, through center, and then right to right, back to the middle. Now one more time on the hands, push the hands to the right, or the right hand to the right, that you go left, and then push to the left and go the other direction. A couple more of each here, and again, turn the fingertips white with tension, keep the callus lines heavy, and keep checking in on the health and the status of those wrists, and just like Lauren, flick away. The last one for me on the wrist warm-up and the head neck is this one as follows. Fingertips face the knees, hands to the floor. This time at the head neck, I'll rotate. I'll look towards Lauren over my right shoulder, then through the middle, and the other way, same thing. Twos of everything, grip the fingertips, create space in the head neck as you rotate, and one last time, and find the middle. Now, one last effort for those hands. Open the fingertips, press heavy, moderate bend in the elbows. I can't even bend the elbows, so try. And then flick the floor away and shake it on out.
Whoa.
That's it for me for feet, wrists, and heads. Lauren, what do you have in mind next?
Let's come into our lunge position. In our lunge position, we have that front foot in front of us, a vertical shin, the femurs lightly pulled in, and that back hip is extended. Now, let's keep this femur stationary, this upper body stationary, and gently try to take our hips for a light hula circle. So we're trying to keep our femurs stationary, which means we're really moving our pelvis around those femurs as best as you can. Switch directions. Yes, there's going to be a little bit of movement, but try to really isolate it to just the hip pelvis area. Elvis, pelvis, come back to center. Tuck under the back hip and pull on that front leg, feeling the scissor tension in your legs. Back pushing forward, front pulling in. Feel it. Probably a lot of feelings through the front of that back leg. Hold for a couple more seconds. Now let's just take our upper body with our arms lightly across our chest blades retracted. Keep extending your back hip. Lift up, not from your shoulders, but from that spring-like of a core, and gently side bend over top of that standing front leg. And then use that long side to bring you back up to tall. Let's do that one more time. Back hip remains extended, square to the front of the room, lifting up and then over, coming back to center. Ooh. Breathe. Let's walk that heel toe foot to the side, front leg to the side. Same idea here. Stationary, stationary, stationary. Light hula circle. Take your time, moving around those femurs as you go. And then switch directions. Breathing. Whew, how does that feel? Once you're back to center, the front leg is pulling in, the back hip is remaining extended. This time we'll do a light drift. Knee towards over toe, sliding over, and then push into the floor to send yourself back, just like you did with your wrists. Heel toe the leg to the front. Let's try for one bonus set of points here. We go to that demi point of the front foot, then we use our toes to point. Could you flex around over those toes? And then come back to the toe tip, the ball of the foot, and the heel comes down. We'll pull that front leg underneath and repeat on the other side. Other leg forward. Back hip extended, front leg in, light hula circles, about 2 in each direction. You might find this side easier, you might find it harder. Depends on you and your body. Switch ways. Upper body staying fairly stationary here. Not too much movement through the legs. Once you're back in center, the front leg again pulls in and that back hip pushes forward. We're also trying to keep level horizontally here. If your hips were that bowl of punch, have that punch nice and flat in the bowl, not spilling out either side or any side. Breathe as you extend forward. Arms across chest, blades together, lifting up in the cage, keep the shoulders down, and then a light side bend over. Pull yourself back up to tall. One more time. As we do this, we're trying to keep our shoulders stacked and square, not rotated. Come back up to tall. Heel toe your leg to the side. Your safe side position, and 2 hula circles again. Getting all the edges of the circle out here. This is where the punch might spill out of the bowl a little bit, but it's not too tippy, if that makes sense. Back hips extended, front legs pulled in. Breathe, keep extending that back hip as we drift knee towards over toe. And then push into the floor to come back to tall. Did we do that twice or just once? We should do it again. Gently drift and then push into the floor. Come back to center with a heel toe. Bring that leg next underneath. And let's go into a quick plank.
Excellent.
How does that sound?
That sounds good.
All right, firing up that core for the future. Hands on the floor underneath your shoulders. Toes go back behind you, either from the knees or from the toes. Tucking your hips under, squeezing your butt cheeks. Now pull the floor together underneath you without moving anything, just pull and breathe. And if I came up behind you and lifted your feet up off the floor, you'd be strong like a board and go up into a handstand. Keep pulling for 5, 4, 3, 2. From the tailbone, tip it to the ceiling, lifting your hips. In this A-frame-like shape, we'll walk our feet to our hands or our hands to our feet and slowly make our way back up to standing. Maybe you're here in your forward fold. Take a second. And then we'll stack ourselves up. Chin tucks, head is last on top.
We'll go to the zoo or crawling around in just a second on those hands, but other animal-inspired movements include our horse stance walk for those squatting style hips. So I'll back up just a little bit and have a little bit of that laneway in front of you. Start with your feet in a parallel position. Then pivoting on the heels, open up. Chase that diamond's shape through the hips, and then just extend. We'll come back to that squat plie again. Return. This time, there will be a weight shift, and then with your other leg, point landing toe ball heel, pull yourself across, and extend fully the back leg with the butt cheek. Then pull in, find the diamond, push through for 1. Repeat on the other side. Squat, weight shift, land toe ball heel and feel the pull, and then the push. Return the feet together and stand up tall. For 2 more each side, let's stay low as if that ceiling is encroaching on our head space as we squat. We reach, we pull, push, heels together, stay low. Other side, and pull, followed by a push, heels together. Keep touching the floor as we do 1 more time each side here. Pull together, and then last one, push out the back, return, and push through. And yes, Lauren's still here.
I'm still here.
Still here, I'm still here.
Surprise.
And again, add those shakes and wiggles in between.
Excellent. We will now explore our 3-point down dog. So this time let's use our hinge. Hip hinge, hips go back, just like your swing. Just stay here for 1 second and try to really tip that tailbone to the ceiling. Feel those hammies, and then let's walk back out into that plank position. Let's enter in our plank right away, tucking the hips, pulling the floor together, thinking about that hollow body position we'll be in for our handstands. Next, push the floor forward, flicking a toe away, or 5 toes, reaching that leg up to the sky. Keep your hips square to the floor and straighten both your knees. Then pull yourself back to the plank, putting that foot down. Try to get some light wrist extension there, pressing the shoulders forward, and then flicking the floor away and lifting that leg. Knees are straight, pull forward. Try to get some more wrists, flick, lift, square up those hips. 1 last time on the other side, breathe. Still squeeze your cheeks when you're in that plank. Let's end in the plank position for 4, 3, 2, tailbone to ceiling. Bend the knees, walk yourself back via the hinge, load up those hamstrings, and press through to tall. Great.
1 last squat-inspired walk. It's the same horse stance walk, but in reverse. So start again with those feet pointing forward, and then open up to that first position. Let's stay low the whole time as we're allowed, as if that ceiling again is encroaching on our headspace. Diamond squat, straight leg reach back. Toe ball heel, push to the front to go back, pull the heels together. Land toe ball heel, push forward, go back, heels together. Reach out the back, feel the pull and push tension, heels together, and clear the space behind you. Let's maybe go 1 more repetition here. Lauren, come back on the camera and extend. You don't need a lot of room, and if you ever do run out of room in a little bit, take your time, make some space, make some adjustments, and always make sure you're safe.
All right, we have 1 more crawl before we get more upside down.
Excellent.
Let's visit our frog and horse. Nope, frog and monkey. Pulling ourselves down into that low squat first, we'll travel in the forward-backward pattern. In our low squat, we'll extend our arms, place our fingertips, and then full palms on the floor. Next, you'll push up, heels will leave the floor, and maybe this is all you do. You could even do a 1-2 step forward. As you get going, hands, lift, light hop, forward. More practice, more air time. Breathe, load up those hands and shoulders. We only have about room for maybe 1 more little frog hop. And then let's try going backwards or turn yourself around. Backwards, you're gonna push the floor forward to send your legs back. Just as you do in your handstand, flick the floor away to finish that frog hop. Last 1 or 2. Whew. And last one. Whoa. And then press to tall. That was a little bit of work.
That was. So let's give those hands and legs a little bit of a break. And we'll be working on some single leg squats today too. So let's warm up a single leg exercise.
Monkey after?
Keep your eyes open. Monkeying around sounds good.
Okay.
So pull up a single leg towards that little ankle bone on the middle. Hug the middle and point those toes, just like in your handstand. If this is easy, close your eyes. Woo. If it's too challenging, find a little outrigger for a little bit extra balance. Press that foot down.
Should we open
finish
our
nice
eyes?
and tall. You can open your eyes. Harder if you didn't, but definitely open those eyes and switch it out. Find the standing leg, low flamingo stance. Squeeze your butt cheek. Point the foot that's off the floor. And for that additional challenge, close the eyes. Enhance your senses. Feel the floor, maybe a second longer.
Karate Kid.
Open eyes, finish nice and tall. We'll come back to single leg squats in a second. Add the shake, add the wiggle. Let's continue to monkey around.
So the monkey goes sideways, unlike the frog. We'll pull ourselves down in that low squat. This time it's a hand, hand, foot, foot. Hand, hand, hop, foot, foot. Again, it can be little baby air, or as you get more experience, a little bit more air. Let's go back to where we came from. We're trying to work to get those hips above the head, to have a little stall pause, last one or so, but to also just spend a little more time on our hands as well as that low squat. Whew, whew.
But again, let's spend some time off those hands, Lauren. And can you share with us, please, those two very challenging but very important core exercises, the front or prone and supine hollow holds.
I can.
Let's get to the floor through our toe squat to continue to warm up those ankles. I'll cue the toe squat and back to Lauren for the core. It's the feet flat, knees over toes. Then heels come up to allow us to get lower. Knees to the floor. Squeeze your butt cheeks. Shake and wiggle. Find some space. Let's get back on our backside.
On our back. Oh, this is going to be nice for a second. All right, we're lying on our back. We're starting with our knees bent and our feet flat on the floor. Our chin is slightly tucked. Palms are face up at the side. And spine is natural. So however it is right now, let's try to keep it that way the whole time. Head and shoulders are going to lift gently off the floor, but they're going to do that because you bring your ribs to your hips, engaging your core. Once you've done that, you continue to breathe underneath that tension. Then maybe we lift our feet up off the floor into this position. Next, we'll extend a leg away from center and then bring it back in. And extend a leg away. And right now you have those pointed feet because we're going to be doing handstands later. And you could continue alternating legs, or you could extend both out for a little bit more of a challenge. As you can hear, that quiver starts to come in my voice. And to even make it harder, we'll reach our arms towards overhead. We're breathing. Feet are tight together. Legs are tight together. Cheeks are squeezed. Core is braced. Breathing underneath. Straighten your elbows. Lightly shrug your shoulders, pushing the back wall away for 3, 2, pull it back into center, and then relax. Whew. Yeah. Next, we'll flip over onto our stomach to form the same idea, but from our stomach. In our hollow position here, we have our arms extended out in front of us. Our chin is lightly tucked. Sorry, I'm trying to position my mic. Our chin is lightly tucked. Our chest might be slightly pushing into the floor. And we're going to think about pushing down with our arms, gently creating that hollow body shape. So if I could come through the screen, I'd try to reach under where your belly button is, and there should be a little gap in the floor there. Next, let's do our checklist again. Feet are pointed. Butt is squeezed. Legs are tight. Arms are pushing down into the floor. I like to imagine that I'm pressing myself up to my handstand right now. You could look at your hands, or you could look down at the floor. Breathe. Keep everything nice and tight and squeezed for 4, 3, 2, relax for a second. Bring your hands back to a push-up position. Create that hollow shape again, and either from your toes or your knees, press up. We'll slowly take our time walking up via that forward fold, chin tucks, and then head is last to stand up, vertebrae by vertebrae.
Excellent. And we're back up.
We're back up.
Now it is time to safely and slowly explore those handstands.
Handstands.
If the handstand sounds a little crazy or foreign to you, take your time. And if it sounds like a lot of fun, take your time. Check in on the wrists, check in on those shoulders. And if you're with Lauren in that kick-up mode, let's explore that first tripod kick-up. The hands are open and we're on 3 bases of support and we're looking for baby air, just a little bit of hang time and quiet like a cat. That animal influence is everywhere, as is the childlike exploration of the handstand. So for 1 or 2 more, work on that kick-up, aiming to keep those legs nice and straight, just like Lauren showed in those last couple reps. They might be bent in the baby air, and that's okay. Absorb the landing, be calm about it, and then we'll switch off. I go, you go. Take your rest.
So start by spreading out your hands, gripping the floor. Next, we have a stagger stance, 1 foot forward, 1 foot back. Shift your weight on top of your hands first, and as Ian said, gently explore that baby air before getting towards upside down. You may have noticed that I was alternating legs or that scissor. I like to do that just to practice both legs take off. You can practice that dominant leg more often, but do practice that non-dominant side, just to keep things sharp. Take your time, breathe, give it a little shake out in between.
Shakes and wiggles. We'll do 2 sets of each here and repeat. If the wrists are saying that's a lot of work, just maybe enjoy watching and learning from Lauren here, or wait for me, we'll be doing it again. So again, those are those scissor legs Lauren's talking about. One leg goes up and the other leg leads down. It challenges yourself to, again, increase the hang time, as well as, Lauren said there, taking off both feet. If you end up in the middle, own it, have fun, shake it out, and repeat.
So just finding how much kick you need to get into the upside down position. I recommend starting with a little less and slowly building up. Too much, and you might end up having to step out of it. Not a bad thing, but just take your time getting to that place. As we go here again, those hands are open wide. The elbows are as straight as possible. Shift your weight forward before you kick up.
Stacked. And the stacked comment here really helps us in our single leg squats as well. So start pulling that up to that single leg balance. The tailbone tips ever so slightly like a cow, tailbone back, and then our knee over toe. Let's just hang out down here for another couple seconds and then push the hip all the way through. Repeating for just 2 here today. Again, tailbone cow tip, knee towards over toe, upper body tall, and push through. Now find the toe balance if you can. It's a butt cheek squeeze so much that it comes up onto those balls of feet. And slow down. Finish on 2 feet, shake and wiggle. The calf muscle group is doing a ton of work for the balance, but the glutes are doing the propulsion. Commit to strong glutes for enhanced balance. It's knees over toes. And as you can see, Lauren is in line with that door frame at the bottom and at the top of the move. We'll do that one more time. The tailbone tips like a cow. Create some tension and some stress down here. Own it all the way back up. And then with a hand on the bar if you need, or just a little baby heel there, take some time, find your toe balance, and avoid the crash. Always look to control back down. Come home safe. Lauren's favorite way to get in the handstand is Exhibit A. Exhibit B is the step in. Cue me through that, Lauren, please.
All right, the step in. You start with your hands over your head and already create that hollow shape that we practiced earlier. 1 foot will be in front. You're flicking the floor away behind you. Start with your baby air. Just give it a little hop to see how much. It's just a little to get off the floor. Then maybe a little bit more. Now, remembering when we do our step in, we also have to get back to standing. So I do want you to think about flicking the floor away to get back up to that tall position. Again, hollow body. Almost thinking you're getting up and over something in order to get your hips stacked over top of your shoulders. Reaching that back leg, keeping it towards the wall behind you, will prevent you from going all the way over a little too far.
Be safe, be slow, and be patient and well-intentioned here. So Lauren's shrugged. We're in that hollow shape from before. And again, using that awesome scissor kick right away. The toes are pointed. The arms and elbows are straight. The shoulders are shrugging up to the ears. In our kettlebell practice, Never shrug the shoulders to the ears. However, in our handstands practice, very strong and safe and great ideas to keep the shoulders shrugged up in the handstand. I like that number 5 and 6, and that was probably the same for Lauren. Let's do it again, one more time.
So with that kick up, arms overhead, shoulders slightly elevated, hollow body. One foot comes forward and you're flicking the floor away. Again, the goal of the handstand is to get into that stacked position. So feet, hips, shoulders, hands. That's what we're trying to create here, but also safely and in control. We've done some wall climbs in the past. We've done some elephant crawls as well as planks around the room. Feel free to go back to those if you need a little assistance before. Free time in the center.
Free time in the center. So one more time for Lauren's team there in the hollow hold, the toe point step in, and finding that hang time upside down. Point the toes to the ceiling. Sometimes it goes better than others, and it's okay. Be safe, have fun, and get sweet reps just like that. So 1 or 2 more, finish with integrity. That satisfies that comment quite well right there. Shake and wiggle, and always check in and know when it's time to push that envelope, but also maybe regress back to the elephant crawl.
Know when to hold up.
Or,
know when to fold.
Yeah, not yet. Not folding yet.
Not folding yet.
We have a couple more minutes here. Let's go a couple more repetitions of our single leg squat. This time, pull up to the low position and challenge yourself to climb a little higher. Then get that knee over toe. For this moment, the hip that's off the floor, the foot that's off the floor, lift it higher, but push that hip lower to the floor. And then push through, finishing tall. One more time. Knee towards over toe. Try to lift up that leg and hold and push through. And then slow and powerful from the glutes, press through, hold your toe balance, and slowly return to the ground with control. Other leg touches, we switch. Stay low if that's for you, or can we climb the leg? As the leg goes up, the hip goes low. Excuse me, hiccups here. The knee goes over the toe. Hang out, lift the knee higher, but push the hip lower and cramp the glutes, pushing all the way through. One more time. The knee goes high, the hip goes low, create tension and stress, and press through. And slowly root the foot, squeeze your glutes, find your toe balance, and return with control. Back to 2 feet. Add our shake and add some wiggles. Time is flying by here, Lauren, this morning.
It's because we're having fun.
Always having fun. Always having fun.
What's happening?
I was hoping Lauren was going to decide what we do next here.
I was going to decide that we do your favorite version of your kick up.
Okay.
And you try to find a little bit of hang time.
I'm in.
Let's make round 1 5 to 10 seconds. Okay?
So 5 to 10 seconds for us here will represent
1 to 10 seconds.
low. So a low amount of time, but just enough to get familiar with your handstand.
Pick
So
your...
let's go in the I go, you go way.
Oh.
Pick your own entry. Lauren will be using her the tripod entry. So aiming to hang upside down for a couple seconds at a time here. It might take us a couple repetitions to get into that. And once you find that place, hold it, enjoy it, and recalibrate. There we go. Great patience there. So Lauren demonstrated really well that trail leg and very slowly brought it up. Not easy to do, but really, really strong ideas.
I was still in the step-in mindset there. Had to change.
Okay.
All right, team me in here. 1 to 10 seconds. See, sometimes it's only 1, and that's okay. We're breathing and holding, and if we get there, we're trying to create that nice, beautiful line. Reaching up to the ceiling, feeling our hands work as they control our upside downness. Let's try that again.
That was a nice, pleasant surprise. 10 seconds, it might have been only 5. Time seems to go a little bit different pace when we're upside down. But let's go again here, Team Lauren, and point those toes. If you give yourself that rest interval in between, your body's often allowed to recalibrate and affect your next set of reps super well, just like it did for Lauren right here. Take rest, have fun, stay strong.
All right.
And if you're feeling good, I want to do it one more time, so join me.
See me in 1 to 10 seconds here. Breathing. And maybe your goal here we go, 10 seconds on the clock. Maybe your goal here is just to spend 10 seconds on your wrists in that plank position, in that elephant position. 3, 2, doing some frogs across the room. Whatever it may be, just build up that strength in your wrists.
Lots of work.
Important.
Lots of work.
Slower will get you there faster.
We'll do one more repetition of
that
our
in there.
single leg squat, and then perhaps one more minute of silliness and fun and amazingness in our handstands. So let's pull up, find that low position. At the low position, just point out, and then pull it back in. Then find the knee. And at the high or the passe position, straighten the leg and pull it back in. Either stay high or bring it back low and return to your single leg squat. Keep the knee at the same height. Straighten, pull, one more time. Straighten, pull, and push through. Find one more toe balance here. Squeeze the bum. Stack the rib cage. Be tall, just like Lauren, and controlled, also just like Lauren.
That's what everyone says. Be tall like Lauren.
On the other side. Pull up to the low position and casually straighten the leg. Point those toes. It's our handstand class after all. And then pull under. Passe is at that knee. That's a term inspired by our bar practice. And same thing. Hold and pull. Choose the height of that leg. Take your time. Descend in your safe squat. Keep the knee at the same height. Reach. Pull. Could you get lower? And then one more time. Reach. Straighten. Point toes. Pull under. Push the hip through. And one last time on the toe balances here. Squeeze your glute. Rib cage is stacked over the hips. Up with control. And down as well. Shake and wiggle. One more time. One more time for what?
Handstands, you say?
Amazing.
We say?
I'm ready.
All right. Anywhere from 1 second
To 1 minute.
to 1 minute.
Okay.
Take your time. Breathe.
Yesterday or last day,
Oh, yeah.
we realized this one, a little intense on the dragon breath sound. So I'm going to take my mic, put it off to the side, and we'll join you back here in a second.
Ready?
I'm ready.
In 3, 2, upwards of a minute. The 4.
The 4.
You don't have a mic on.
40-second handstand. Lauren's keeping going. To our 45. Oh, I don't have a mic. Maybe it's better that I don't have a mic sometimes too. But thank you so much for being here today. We're always
Wait,
working.
they might still be upside down.
Oh, okay.
1 minute. Good job.
Good job.
Good job.
I was explaining that to a client in the studio here the other day, and 40 seconds ain't nothing to slouch at, and that's kind of where we're at right now in our own practice. But to get to 45 and 47 and upwards of that minute, incredible amounts of work. So take care of those wrists, stay strong in the whole body,
Patience.
and until we train soon, let's fill them in with what we do in studio here, online at the Patreon account. Lauren, tell them all the details.
All right. Well, next Tuesday, we have our kettlebell practice, and it's the last one of this summer series.
Ooh.
And then we'll be starting a new, little more advanced series come September. That'll be exciting. Thursday, we do our bar practice where we work on our hip mobility and strength, inspired by the ballet. Also, new semester coming in September. And then Saturday,
Saturday, we have fun.
But in between there, you should check out our website, barsandbells.com, and our Patreon to help support all of this.
All of this.
Thank you for joining us today. Until next time, take care, stay strong, and let's train soon. Goodbye.
Goodbye.